I'm going to be pretty straight to the point. This $2 trillion quote unquote stimulus bill or economic relief package is a hell of a lot of relief, but it's more so for big corporations, banks, hospitals, and other special interests. I mean, the crumbs for working workers that are losing their job um, on the edge, or we're already on the edge prior to that point, and basically nothing but a straight giveaway. And this is why, I mean, quite frankly, most people should know about the details about the tax incentives or just the tax relief that was given. Um, the gigantic, basically, slush fund that could be leveraged 10 times that was appropriated for the Fed. And basically, the Fed and the Treasury, which can be leveraged to over $4 trillion if they see fit. Um, and I mean, the bailout appropriation for Boeing, who had nothing but horrible practices prior to, I mean, irresponsible with the financials when it came to that company. Well, basically stock buybacks, not enough investment in actual manufacturing or investment or innovation, and uh, um, also allowing smaller banks to leverage more, which is just risky. I mean, and yeah, and they have the $350 billion of, I mean, supposedly appropriated as loan guarantees that could be forgiven for small businesses. That goes to the SBA, which is, to my understanding, a ton of bureaucracy. So I don't even see a good portion of that money being even utilized. You're just going to see big companies and then, of course, the airlines, who are also irresponsible with a lot of their profits. And they gave it to the executives and the shareholders with, paying out with dividends. And we basically just rewarded bad behavior and said, okay, here goes a ton of cash grants, and here goes some loans. And then these are some really cute restrictions on buying back your stock for based on the outstanding, as long as you have the loan is still outstanding, and some other really minor provisions about executive pay, which quite frankly, I'll be honest with you, the whole stipulation of stock buybacks, based on these particular actions, it used to be illegal because it was deemed stock manipulation. We can just go across the board and just say that could be effective again. That's an option. I mean, we don't have to play this silly game of, I'll look like I'm making you basically um, have to give up something as I give you billions of dollars. Regular Americans do not go through that. That is completely something that's reserved for people that already have more than enough. And I'm all for making profits. I do not mind that. But most people don't get rewarded for bad behavior. Typically, when you jack up and just spend too much money, blow everything, and then you lose all your money, you know what most people do? They typically take the credit hits, and then when they try to regain their credit or they try to reestablish it, they pay a high ass interest rate. And then, they have to kind of earn their credibility back before anything goes back to being normal. This is completely opposite. Blow all your money, completely don't put anything aside. Like most of us who are asked to have 3 to 6 months of just money on the side. Any event you lose your job or something unpredictable happens to you, so that you can pay it off and then at some point, you know, get your footing again financially and then kind of go back to normal. I mean, literally, blow all your money, be a big company, blow all your money, give it to the executives and the CEO and the shareholders, and then come with your hand out and then demand grants. And then basically say, if you don't give me the money, I'm firing all these people. I'm not even going to exhaust, kind of like Boeing said, who literally came out and said, if I have to give any equity, to the government. It's just not worth my time. I'll just go through other options. Cool, do that. That's what regular people typically have to do. Exhaust all of their options before. Most people don't even, you can't go to the government and ask for a handout. If you're a big company, you can. So, all in the fake argument of, well, these people are just going to have to get laid off. Quite frankly, at this time, there's no economic activity taking place, anyways. It will make more sense to make them go exhaust all their options first and then go through possibly bankruptcy because they have done this before in the past, and then probably get some leniency with the creditors, and then they can also probably get more funding just as Boeing did before they burned through the additional funding. They got the $14 billion, and then they kind of cruise on throughout this time. They can probably hold off for a few months, and at the same time, yes, we can just we can give relief directly to the workers. And quite frankly, once things start picking up again, and then there is a demand for these, you know, the airlines and the banks and everything, and then you know what we do? Then basically the consumers pick who wins and who loses. That should be the way things work out. But aside from all that and the BS that took place, because this is 100% um, a total in sham that they call worker relief. It's not worker relief. It was nothing but a corporate bailout, and everyone snuck in as many goodies as they could, as the Democrats and the Republicans, mainly the leadership, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, um, and the Trump administration, and big part of it was Mnuchin, who gets to basically pick and choose who he wants to give these federal back loan guarantees to. Um, what to guarantee by who? Us. So, and also there, how the Fed is buying corporate debt. Wish someone could just, just take my debt off my hand. That's awesome. But this is 100% the game that they play. Democrats say, oh, if the Republicans come up with their means tested, direct payments to some people, less money go to people that have lower incomes or don't have higher tax liabilities. And then Democrats come in and go, oh, that's really horrible. You know what? We're going to have to do this, this, and this, and that's going to improve it. And then that delays it. And, everyone already has this fixed deadline, which is, the first of the month. So they're like, okay, I disagree with you. You disagree with me. Okay. Now let's keep pushing this towards the end, because even though the Senate, passed a bill that apparently the Democrats can't vote on it until tomorrow, or the House can't vote on it until tomorrow. And then apparently they all leave and go home and for 3 weeks because they all can't be in the same place, even though we have people working and making probably less than $10 an hour working at our pharmacies and our stores and Walgreens and everything. They can put their health on the line, but the precious people that make six figures, and most of them are millionaires, can't just bring themselves to come and put themselves at a little bit of risk and probably debate all the atrocities in this freaking sham of a bill. And they play this game, and then it comes to the end, and then they go, oh, we both call it's bipartisanship. And whenever you hear that from especially establishment Democrats and establishment Republicans, check your back pocket, because you're probably going to get picked. And that's exactly what's taking place here. And they could have done it this way, and I've been saying this for weeks to a lot of my friends who thinks this, for some reason, lawmakers can't do this, but they can do this. Pass the worker relief separate from the corporate bailouts. And then, yes, and then we can separate it, because unfortunately people need to see it separated to see, who's getting the better treatment here. But I guarantee you it'll be much harder to pass this slush fund that they just, for nothing but special interests, for both the Democrats and the Republicans, basically bailing out their campaign donors. So that it was a sham from the beginning. They could have passed the worker relief weeks ago. This is not something that just popped up, so hopefully most people get it. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people watch cable news, who's not really going to argue that much about an airline bailout. Why? Because when you turn on the TV and after your show comes off, who the hell is advertising on their damn television? It's typically, you think in Georgia, any local television is railing against Delta, who damn near owns Georgia? No, of course. They get money from these industries. These industries advertise on their airways. So they're going to talk about the other nonsense, anti-Trump provision in the bill. Oh my goodness, no one from the Trump is good. Who gives a freaking crap about that? There's $1 trillion going to a ton of other companies that have horrible behavior. And, what Nancy Pelosi said to a reporter that's irrelevant to the damn bill and how robust the worker relief should have been. And instead of basically rewarding a bunch of companies that had horrible behavior for years, that's not the conversation that's going to take place. They're not going to have the conversation that they literally held up worker relief hostage so that these corporations can get exactly what they wanted. There's an article in the Hill where they're basically bragging about this. For goodness sakes, the last bailout, these people were comfortable enough to go back up to Washington and celebrate the damn 10-year anniversary of the bailout that they received. That's how comfortable they are with lobbying and taking advantage of our quote unquote representatives. They brag about it. There are articles written about it, and this is what they do because they own they own DC. I hate when people are just so freaking caught up on labels, R or D or Republican, Democrat, or I lean libertarian. Who gives a damn if the system is completely corrupt? If you're a regular worker doing everything the right way, and you don't get this type of, you know, bailout or attention from your representatives, quite frankly, you're on the same level as the people you think you're so much different than because you're so principled in your damn ideology. The corruption comes before your damn ideology. And they don't give a damn what you, because they know at the end of the day, as long as you tote that line, they know they can screw you over and over again. And that's what they're going to do. Rant over.